All right, lots of stories are emerging in from the sources coming in from Manchester United and other sources that are really credible in as far as why Erik ten Hag was sacked and what led to his sacking from the club of Manchester United this afternoon. Welcome to this channel. Smash the like button, comment and share if at all you're watching us for the very first time. Endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Players of Manchester United have come out and obviously bid farewell to the manager, and finally he's out and he has been spotted really trying to move out of Manchester to obviously travel back to Netherlands, obviously have a rest, because obviously he's the orchestrator of his own sacking. I've been one of those that have said this on several occasions, that whatever Erik ten Hag is doing, to trust players like Rashford and Bruno Fernandes on the pitch, he's sacking himself. We needed a more ruthless manager to obviously come up and obviously lucid these things. And the big question is, are we gonna get one? So let's see close to 200 likes much in this video, and I've gone here to put out a poll, and most of you have come out and obviously agreed that Erik ten Hag deserved a sack, and no one says no to that. No one says no to that. Now, this is the Sun. As you see that photo, Erik ten Hag seen for the very first time since his United sacking. He was spotted getting into the back of his car as he left his Chelsea home. He will travel back to the Netherlands, and you see where his head was. Obviously, he is really trying to do what fools do. I'm not calling him a fool, but the motto of a fool is I wish I knew. You know, sometimes this is where we get to understand that I wish I benched Marcus Rashford. I wished I benched Bruno Fernandes. I wished I never played Mazraoui in the number 10 position when we are playing against Fenerbahce. You get? So all those are things that are really running in his head, but managers are meant to be sacked and they're meant to be appointed. So you never know, he might find himself really getting a job elsewhere to become a manager to obviously prove himself, you know. But I don't think that's going to prove Manchester United. I think he has had his time at Manchester United. He had all the time to really change things, but the fact is Erik ten Hag has failed to turn around things at the club of Manchester United. So you've seen the photo of him really moving from his Chelsea side to obviously find himself go to the Netherlands to rest. And I know he cannot speak anything about the club of Manchester United. I think after close to 2 years, I think they're going to give him 24 months, and that is the non-disclosure clause. You know, that is the non is N, disclosure DC. It's the NDC, and it's really going to be signed. And the moment it's signed, I don't see him come up and obviously put in the required shift altogether. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Players have come out and obviously bid farewell to him. Garnacho, Rasmus Hojlund, Zexi and very many others have come up and obviously posted onto their different social media platforms. And now Mike Egan has come out and really told us that Erik ten Hag was informed of his departure at the meeting in Carrington with Omar Berrada and Dan Ashworth. The meeting was described as respectful and dignified. Obviously, I think they've backed him enough, and he has denied himself a chance, because when the game is 1-1, when you are in Turkey, and instead of bringing on Amadi Diallo, who is a far much better player than Anthony, and you leave him on the bench and you bring on Anthony, that was one of the things that pissed out many of us. You get? Though I really understand that ten Hag might be having his differences with Amad Diallo, but at least in a game like that, when you know you need to save your job, you obviously have to bring him on. You understand? And Amad showed you that he would have gone ahead to do magic in that game if at all they gave him ample playing time, because when he came on through, the first time he got the ball, he was fouled and he had net marked the defender of Fenerbahce. You get? And even yesterday, Amad came on. He's the guy that really flies the ball, hits that ball to the byline. Diallo heads it into the box. And guess what happened? Zexi heads it and it finds the unmarked Casemiro. Casemiro headed that ball in the back of them to make it 1-1. And these are things that he missed. And I think they are running in his head. And I think Omar Berrada is right. By the way, I never wanted ten Hag to be sacked, but it was inevitable. That is it. It is inevitable because the board obviously had to see how they save this season. You get? So, ten Hag has no one to blame. I tell you. For me, I think he got lots of things right, but the most important thing failed him. It failed him as a manager, because these are things that we can see down here in if I'm in Africa and I can see the problem of Erik ten Hag, that Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford are not performing very well, put them on the bench. After benching them, start other players and see how the team is really going to be playing and prospering. You understand? Play Eriksson as a 10 because he is really one of the best 10s that we've gone ahead to see in the world. You get? Play him as a 10. If he's really putting out that output as a number 8, how many assists, how many goals will Eriksson get as if at all he's played in number 10 position? Because you admit that Bruno is really playing badly and tell him this is what I want you to play. Now, keeping Rashford and Bruno in the field of play was like a confirmation that Erik ten Hag ordered them to be playing that way. You understand? So, I believe that Erik ten Hag, on his way to Netherlands with his family, he will sit down and really understand that he was the one to blame, you know? But I don't think that he's really going to be off the touchline for some long time, because I know teams are really going to be sacking their managers, and Erik ten Hag will obviously be given a job. Now, but I don't see him going back at Ajax. That is it. I don't think he's really going to go back at Ajax. Now, we are having Chris Wilder. He has said Erik ten Hag recorded his press conference for the Leicester match after the West Ham game, but it will not be broadcasted. Ruud van Nistelrooy is not expected to speak to the press before the match. So, tomorrow, there's supposed to be a press conference, and Ruud van Nistelrooy is like, he's not going to be speaking to the media, and I'm asking myself, why isn't United going to be conducting that press conference? It was supposed to be mandatory, and I think that really kills the juice in all this. I remember when I was really doing this video of Erik ten Hag getting sacked, I came up and really told you that I just can't wait to hear what Ruud van Nistelrooy is going to be saying tomorrow in the pre-match press conference. But all right, even if he's not going to come up and obviously say anything to us, we all know to it that after the game he has to speak to the media. You get? And obviously, questions will be posed to him. How he feels like getting Erik ten Hag out of the job, and very many answers will be awaited for. You get? Will be awaited for from him. And it will depend on how his starting 11 is going to be. And tomorrow I'm going to be coming up with a match preview on how United is really going to be standing. Now, the big question is it going to be a game that Ruud van Nistelrooy is going to be allowed to do what he wants? Or the likes of Jason Wilcox will be like, we want these players on the field of play. You get? Because instructions for Ugarte are supposed to be on. And I really believe that for any manager they're going to be discussing with, all the players they signed will be wanted onto the pitch. That is it. So that's how things really went down for Erik ten Hag, and he got sacked. Now, players of Manchester United, especially the captain, came first and had the following to say about the sacking of the manager. Thanks for everything, boss. I appreciate the trust and the moments we share together. I wish you all the best. Even knowing the last period hasn't been great for us, I hope you fans can keep with you. I hope you fans can keep with you the good things Erik ten Hag has done for our club. Now, these are the players that are responsible for sacking the manager. And I don't know whether the video analysis was always done very well, because you can come out and really tell me that a manager has gone ahead, obviously put out a player like Bruno Fernandes, you know, all the time. Obviously, he was going to take the blame. I've blamed him for several times. I think for the previous seasons, even before Erik ten Hag was here, I was blaming Bruno Fernandes on how he plays. But even the player now comes out and mourns, but I believe he hasn't gone ahead, obviously, do enough to obviously do the needful. Yesterday, with 4 minutes to go, you saw how Bruno Fernandes tried to obviously shoot from far, yet his fellow players were into the bench. You understand? That is Bruno Fernandes for you. So, for Erik Ten Hag, he hasn't gone ahead to give himself a chance. And for Bruno Fernandes, he never also saved the manager. And I'm fed up of this sequence of really sacking managers. And Alejandro Garnacho has also come up and said the following to the manager, or the former manager of Manchester United. Thank you for everything, boss. I will always be grateful to you for giving me the opportunity and confidence to play for this club. It hasn't gone as well as we wanted, but I will remember the good times we had together, and I wish you all the best in future. You understand? Now, for Garnacho, I really don't... for me, I'll blame Garnacho because he's a selfish player. The way he runs into players, the way he really tries to finish, And people are like, he's young. Why is it that Lamine Yamal, 17 years of age, 3 years younger than Garnacho, is really more composed and his end product to the game is better? You get? So I think sometimes you might think it's the manager because these players continue to repeatedly do these things. You get? Because Rashford does the same things, Bruno does the same things, Garnacho does the same things, and the manager takes off Amad Diallo, who does different things that we think are supposed to be right. You understand? So, I think Erik Ten Hag has gotten himself sacked. I tell you, he has. He has totally got himself sacked. I imagine if United had a player called Amad Diallo on the pitch in the first half, because Marcus Rashford was dead on the right wing, but he was forcing two players on the pitch, yet he knows to it that they're not really working out well. And I believe if Amad was in the right with his composure, Ten Hag would have gone ahead, obviously, walk out of that first half with like 2 goals, because all we missed in the final third was composure. That is it. So, that is exactly how things are really panning out. That's exactly how things are really panning out. And I tell you what, a lot is really gonna go maybe our way. Let's pray. Let's keep our hands crossed and see how things are really gonna be put into action. Then we are having Rasmus Hojlund. Obviously, he has come out and said, thanks for everything, boss. Wish you all the best in future. And that's what Rasmus Hojlund has gone ahead to say to the manager. And I've gone ahead, obviously, see Joshua Zexi also posting certain things. But before we obviously call it quits and we call in for your reactions into the comment section below, let's listen from what Lisandro Martinez has come out and obviously had to say. Martinez has said, everyone is fighting, giving everything, but we have to give more. We'll continue to believe until the end. Today we played very well in the first half, and then we lost ground in the second. I'm very disappointed, obviously, like any other was disappointed yesterday. I'm so frustrated. I see our qualities every day, but we lose again after many missed opportunities. It's hard to accept, but we have to. That's what he said. Then I'm very disappointed. I hate losing. Expectations are high. We want to win every day. So it was like Martinez was like, I'm giving out this interview. Looks like it's gonna be the last one or under Erik Ten Hag. It had all thoughts of threats that maybe the manager is losing his match. Sorry, he's losing his seat at Manchester United after that loss. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Rock and David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later, and I'm out for now, and see you when you see me. But it's going to be a marathon of very many stories. I'm coming back with some of the managers that have gone ahead to be linked to the club of Manchester United. Nagelsmann, Javi, Fernandes, obviously, and very many others into the mix. Bye-bye.